I'm trying to sound calm.
Water filling the street, flooding it. Alrighty.
Alrighty then. Where's Stacy?
I bet because of the description of this ship.
Okay, well, let's go to this other one. It's longer, but I think we'll have the callers that are in there that I wanted you to hear. Push play. Let's start it. Maybe, yeah, right there.
Heard from a
Come on, play.
survivor that witnessed this. Her name was Nancy Busey. She was 90 at the time when she told me this. And this was
Okay,
in
that's about the
1990.
Tulsa race riot.
You know where the boy got him?
Someone needs to tell the sheriff that it's
Okay,
time to
here we
change
go.
and it's time for him to resign.
And this has the callers that I
And
wanted
that's
to
part
talk
of what
about.
this petition is about. Well, that is what the petition is about.
Amen
It's
on that.
to get a grand jury to investigate Sheriff Glanz of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And we did.
This is a good way of affecting social change in an environment where injustice has been the norm. Let me get this real quick. So, and it's not just African Americans that are a minority here. Native Americans are the second largest minority in Oklahoma, and this is true in Tulsa. Latino Americans are the number one minority in the state of Oklahoma, and true for Tulsa. African Americans are the third largest minority. They all share in this injustice. They are all victims of this injustice, of this elitist mentality that somehow their lives are not as important as others. One moment. Sorry for the dead air. Oh, there it is. I like that one. There is an artist by the name of Killer Mike. He has a song named Reagan and God is in the Building, Speak Lord, and they're wonderful pieces. Let me take a look at the studio and see if I have callers. I see one caller that's called in. If you want to speak, you'll need to press 1. Let me go ahead and open up the chat room. I just realized I had not opened up the chat room. I apologize for that. And let me get that going. This is the premiere show of We the People of Oklahoma. They have a website. I'm sorry I don't have it. They just started it about 2 days ago. So, got that. All right, I see your hand up. I have the chat room open.
This is an older
Let me go ahead and
broadcast,
bring
but I
on
wanted you to
this
hear the
person.
callers
Area code
so you can see what we're
817.
dealing with.
If you can hear me, you are live.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. I'm not able to be to the event, so I thought I would do this. My friends that are doing this event are now currently marching. I'm waiting for some of them to call in. Are you calling from the event or calling as a listener?
No, I'm calling from another state. I'm from Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I was calling about, how they, my nephew, Corey Atchison, was went to trial, Judge Harper, and they railroaded him, and he's been in prison since 1990, and for something he didn't do, and they know he didn't do it, but they say he was not going to get out.
Was he arrested by the Tulsa Police Department or sheriff?
The police, it was the sheriff or the police. I don't know which one he was arrested by. But I know he had a court, and everybody thought he was going to be innocent, and even the boy got up there and testified and said he didn't do it. They made him say he did it, and they still just locked my nephew up, and he's been in prison ever since 1990.
1990. I'm writing
1991.
1991.
Yeah. And he's in Granite, Oklahoma now, and he's been locked up ever since. And and they know he didn't do it.
And you say this was a murder?
Yes. He was trying to give them mouth to mouth and help him, and they arrested him, and they railroaded. They know he didn't do it, but they told my son, we know he didn't do it, but he never get out.
Well, I cannot make any promises, but I can tell you that we are gathering 5,000 signatures for this petition. We've been granted the right to get this petition and to get the signatures to get a grand jury investigations into the sheriff glands. And I'm hoping that this will work, and this is going to expose much more than what we want to expose. All the dirty stuff behind the curtain. And he's been sheriff since 89.
89. Well, he's and a district attorney. Who's the district attorney now?
Goodness, it's on the tip of my tongue. But back in 89, I believe it was Don Moss. Correct?
No, 80. No, I'm talking about 90.
I think it was Don Moss then. They named a jail after him. But he died in the 90s.
I have two more nephews
that
have been in prison since 95 for something they didn't do.
Since 95. What are their names, son?
Malcolm Scott and Marco Carpenter.
Marco Carpenter?
Yes.
Is that correct? Was this a Tulsa charge?
Yes.
Tulsa.
Yes.
Tulsa cases. If you want to talk about it, you're welcome to. If you don't want to talk about it, that's all right too.
Yes, they locked my nephew up, Corey Atchison, as I'm talking about first. They locked him up for killing this guy. I can't remember his name because I don't have all my papers right in front of me, but I have all the from the Tulsa Eagle, Oklahoma Eagle, and where the boy got on the stand and told that he didn't do it. And then they told this white guy, they kept him in lockup and tortured him and told him to say he did it or else they going to put it on him. This
My
was the
goodness.
Tulsa police. Oh, it's been a whole lot going on. And in 95, my nephew was at my house. I got on the witness stand and told them, and they still gave him 3 life sentences.
Got on the stand. 3 lives.
And
Is
I
that
know
Malcolm?
Malcolm Scott. He was at my house.
I have no idea what this grand jury is going to turn up, but I hope a lot of people will get freed through this. It's my sincere hope.
And they tried to say Malcolm killed the guy in Quick Trip, and the man who they got, and they done killed him now on death row, and he made a petition and told people Malcolm didn't do it. He lied. Or Marco, he signed a petition saying they didn't do it, but they still haven't let him out.
My God. It's hard to know what to say. I mean, I know these things go on. I know they do. I've heard in the Native American community, I've seen and heard horrible things similar to this. But it's always shocking to hear it. And no wonder you left Oklahoma. No wonder.
I leave Oklahoma. I left Oklahoma because it's so cold and I get too cold. But that's my home, and my family is still there, and they stopping black guys for riding in the car with 4 people in there. They just stopping them and make them get on the ground and for nothing.
Wow. My goodness.
Seen it happen, and I came in behind them and said, what did you stop them for? They didn't do nothing.
Did they turn on you then?
No, they didn't turn on me because one cop, he got scared because everybody started coming, so he left.
Good. Now, I have a question for you. Does the name Huckabee ring any bells?
No, I don't know Huckabee. I don't know him. I read about it in how he done, but the sheriff, I know, son was up there. They chained him to the bed and was sticking him with stunt gun.
Oh man, Huckabee has done some atrocious things.
Yeah,
there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
This.
You know, the things I've heard, to me it's crimes against humanity, but that's my opinion.
Yes, they stripped them and took their clothes off. They were 15 years old, and they chained to the bed and stuck them with stun gun, and they was just hollering and screaming.
My God. Again, I mean, what do you say? I mean, go ahead.
Okay, he was probably there then too, because this was in 93, 92, 93.
Well, I need to find out when he started, because I personally have been ill for the last 3 weeks, and the virus going around. So I haven't been able to be at the meetings and the rallies like I want to. I still have one child sick, so this is what I'm doing in replace of being down there. I have a petition, that I've walked around yesterday and got a few signatures. But, to give you hope, this Saturday, someone has rented a double-decker bus for Tulsa, and we're going to go around to different places and get those signatures. People have been working day and night to fill this petition. They'll go to a quick trip and set up a sign. People walk up. They have to be a registered voter in Tulsa. And they have to use their address that's on their voter ID card, for it to be a legitimate signature. But we are working very hard to get some of this darkness exposed to the light of justice. And this is the way to do it. We have been peaceful. It seems like every Friday they've been going down there for the protest. And again, I've been to many of those. And I went to the press conference where Sheriff Glanz did a press conference that appeared on CNN, if you saw that. Many... well, you can look on YouTube, Sheriff Glanz, CNN.
Yeah, I've been keeping up because I'm in We the People of Oklahoma, and then I look on and read.
Well, I'm so glad about that. But you can watch how he called Robert Bates Bob, and he smiled, and he was, in essence, referring to him as a good guy, that this happened to him. And then when he said that he had put those 2 deputies on desk jobs, he said he acted like there were so many threats against them, that this happened to them, that whatever happened to Eric wasn't that big of a deal. And he was murdered in cold blood. I don't know what else someone can call it.
Yeah,
when the man is down on his belly, and I have the audio of it. I have the audio, but it's so graphic. I don't even know if I want to play it on here, and it's so graphic. And his brother's been very active in some of the protests. And again, these are peaceful protests. I think Tulsa's a good model right now on how to affect social change. We've done everything the right way. The protesting, there has not been, to my knowledge, any outside influences.
It's Greenwood, Archer, and Pine. That's the name of it.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the G. Oh, my memory. I'm just sleep deprived. And thank you.
I remember we shop Greenwood. That's where we used to shop.
Yes.
We downtown.
Mhm. Now, has your family been in Tulsa generationally?
Yes.
So they were there during that time, or in 1921, or would you like to?
Yeah, they were there. My great grandmother told me how she had to run to the how she was running with my grandmother